I would like to discuss with you today is word stress for effective communication. And objectives of the study to enable students to identify words correctly based on parts of speech and their accent, to familiarize students with syllable division and rules of stress pattern, to bring about a consistent accent and intelligibility in students' pronunciation of English, to help students to speak English with the clarity and confidence. What is stress and why it is important? Stress is emphasis and it is applied to certain a syllable in a word. So English is a stress time language. In each content word is divided into parts called syllables. A syllable is unit of pronunciation which has a vowel sound and forms of a word or of the entire word. The vowel sound in the syllable may or may not be surrounded by consonants. For example, let us see some words which consists of different syllables in a words, and how many syllables are there in the word pen. And pen has only one syllable. It is considered to be monosyllabic word. And if you take example teacher, it has two syllables and it comes under disyllabic word. And if you take the word afternoon, and it has three syllables, afternoon, so it comes under trisyllabic word. And if you take presentation, it comes under polysyllabic word, presentation. So here problems occur by most of the students in placing stress on correct syllable and disyllabic words. You can see here permit and prefer. There are two disyllabic words, and when they want to communicate in the place of verb, they are highlighting first syllable which comes under noun category. So usually first syllable takes stress for nouns and second syllable takes stress for verbs. And you can see here they are highlighting first syllable in the place of noun also. They are saying permit and prefer instead of they have to say permit and prefer. And polysyllabic words, for example, perspective, and here perspective, and they are getting confused in placing correct stress mark on correct syllable. And committee and committee, actually they are supposed to say committee, and photographic, and people are it is actually a polysyllabic word, and they are keeping in the other syllables what exactly to be kept. Okay, and here photographic and photographic, and difficulties, and they're supposed to pronounce difficulties. Okay, and here misunderstandings can occur because of unexpected word stress placement. And you can see the example, students are unable to place the right stress mark in a sentence. When we go through sentence wise, and the words that they take stress on verb or nouns, they're getting confused to use it in an appropriate manner. For instance, I have come here to present a present. For example, present, they are saying present in the place of present. Okay, so first one is first word is used in the place of verb, second word is used in the place of noun, but pronunciation differs and pronunciation changes, and they are changing the syllable as per the syllable, the grammatical function changes. You can see now, and I have used some of the methods followed in the classroom. These methods make people to understand more about this stress. Okay, and you can see first audiolingual method. An audiolingual method is a oral based approach. It emphasizes vocabulary acquisition through exposure to its use in situations. The audiolingual method drills students in the use of grammatical sentence patterns. And the second one is deductive method. It is a traditional approach in which information about target language and rules are driven at the beginning of the class and continued with examples. Third one is intuitive imitative method. It deals with the listening and imitating the sounds and rhythms of the target language without explicit teaching. For example, when we give a list of words and we ask them to pronounce what we pronounce in the classroom, and we prepare a list of words which consists of nouns and also which consists of verb, in order to show the stress change from noun to verb. And when we keep particular stress and particular syllable, then they follow, and then they practice, and they easily identify for noun where it places and for verb where it gets placed. Okay, and now you can see the rules of stress, and I have given 4 rules here. You can see first rule number 1, most of the disyllabic nouns and adjectives take stress on the first syllable. And rule number 2, most of the disyllabic words take stress on the second syllable. Verbs take stress on the second syllable. Okay, nouns and adjectives take first syllable and verbs take second syllable. This is the fundamental rule that you have to remember. Okay, wherever you go, if you follow this order, this rule, and you can use English, in a well manner. Okay, and so here you can see the exercises also, and we need permit to park here. Okay, and here please permit us to park here. Okay, and I have given 4 examples to nouns, and the other 4 comes under verbs, and that sounds like insult. And here, don't insult the visitors, and they sell produce at the market. Cars produce a lot of smog. Handle the object carefully. Do you object to the change? Okay, so here you can observe in first 4 sentences, I highlighted only first syllable of the word. First syllable. So as I told you before, only noun and adjectives take first syllable. Okay, so these first four examples come under the category of nouns, and the second 4 come under the category of verb. You can see, you can observe the words permit, insult, produce, object. So, and a second syllable is stress on each word. Second syllable. Okay. Now rule number 3, stress rule for words ending with the shan gen. Okay, there are many English words end with the shan gen, and the words ending with the above suffixes take the stress on the second from the last syllable. Second syllable. Okay, and you can see second syllable to be stressed when words ending with the shan and jan. For example, education, cooperation, and decision, and vision. Okay, and so you can take a second syllable as a stressed syllable, remaining all are normal syllables. Okay, and rule number 4, words ending with the C, T, F, G, okay, and L. The rule, words end with the C, T, F, G, and L. The stress is often the third from the last syllable. And so from the last syllable to third syllable, we keep the stress mark on third syllable from the last. Okay, so now let us go through the examples, then you will understand it in a better way. And democracy, here it is given polysyllabic word. Democracy comes under polysyllabic. Okay, and democracy, there are 4 syllables included in this word, but we highlight only third syllable, which means from the last one, and last from third syllable, which means more. Okay, democracy and photography and logical, commodity, psychology. So, and it is something that you are highlighting that syllable, and extra force is given to that particular syllable in order to understand, in order to convey the information clearly. If you don't hear any word, by highlighting the particular syllable of a word, then people can understand and which word you are really uttered. Okay, and here activities I propose here, two activities: identifying nouns and adjectives stressed in disyllabic words. For instance, present, record, and object, import, suspect. And learning activity 2, identifying verb. Because what I taught these two variations, and then in identifying stress mark in nouns and identifying stress mark in verbs. So when we give a list of words to the students to ask them to keep the right stress on right word based on the grammatical function, based on the parts of speech. If the word is given noun, then they go through, then they keep the stress mark on first syllable. And if I give a word which comes under verb category, they keep the stress mark on second syllable. Okay, so here you can see stress in polysyllabic word: renovated, examined, encountered. Now let's check out the sentences containing the word comment, and you can see, can you apply the proper word stress on the read and read the sentence correctly here. Please comment, please comment on this and drop the comment sheet on the comment box. Okay, and which is people don't know where to keep on second syllable or where to keep on first syllable, because if they understand which comes under verb category and which comes under noun category or adjective category, they cannot define, they cannot decide to keep the stress mark on particular syllable. Okay, so in order to identify according to the context whether the word is in a verb or whether the word is in a noun category, if they understand, then they can easily keep the stress mark on particular syllable. As we have discussed already, the rules tell them to identify which syllable takes stress. Okay, and impact assessment is done in written and articulation. Fundamentally, the perception of stress is depend on 4 features. Okay, when we want to assess somebody's stress, whether they are using stress or not, and whether they are perfect or not, and we can identify through pitch, prominence, loudness, duration, and vowel quality. And stressed syllables generally have more pitch movement than unstressed ones, tend to be louder and longer, and usually contain a full vowel, according to Peter Roach 2009. And here an unstressed syllable will be less improminent and consistent of a softer, quicker, centralized vowel that has very little pitch moment. An activity sheet, I usually give to my students activity sheet like this, and reading, put the words into groups depending on the how many syllables there are, and by identifying, first randomly I give a list of words which consists of different syllables of words. Okay, we can find it consists of from mono to di and tri and polysyllabic words. Then they have to identify, first of all they should be able to identify whether that word has how many syllables, whether that word has one syllable or disyllable or trisyllable, something like that. Then they have to write down in the box. Okay, in one syllable means one syllable word they have to add there, and two syllabic word means disyllable word they have to add there, and three syllable means trisyllabic words they have to add there, four syllabic means polysyllabic words they have to add in that box. And after that, write more words on the topics of learning English in each group. Okay, and when we teach any story or any lesson, we can ask them to select one paragraph, and in that paragraph ask them to identify the content words. Then those context words, they have to identify whether that content word is disyllabic word, trisyllabic word, or polysyllabic word. According to that, they have to place here in the given boxes. Next, disyllabic words and polysyllabic words, activity 2, and here put the words into correct columns. Okay, and here giving highlighting syllable in a big box, whether that word carries first syllable or the second syllable. Okay, and there will be some words, and by picking up that word, okay, this word carries the stress on first syllable, then they have to keep in column number 1. Okay, and if the word carries second syllable as a stress, then they have to post that word into column number 2. Okay, and polysyllabic words also the same, and when they want to bring up according to the rules, then they have to identify, and here we have given a list of words, then they have to select which word takes which syllable as a stress. Okay, if the word has a second syllable as a stress and third syllable as a stress, then they have to keep here in column number 1 and column number 2. And activity assessment sheet also we have I have provided here, and total number of students attended, and by making them understanding and giving a sheet and giving a list of words, then they go through the words and they will understand the syllable division first. After syllable division, whether that is a verb or noun, then they go through our polysyllabic words also. Then they try to understand which word and which syllable carries in that word, which syllable carries a particular primary stress. Okay, so this is the way we teach students to understand where they have to keep exactly on a particular syllable on a particular word. Okay, so average or below average students, word sheet for practice. We give a practice sheet to first of all, they have to understand when they utter, they will come to know how many syllables a word has, because a syllable is a unit of pronunciation. I already told you before. The same way, and it is a puff of air. It is a puff of air. For example, bucket, right? And if you take book, it is a monosyllabic word. So a single utterance, bucket. If you take bucket, and computer. So there are 3 single units we can divide. How can we divide a syllable, which means based on the vowel feature? If that syllable has vowel, then we can decide that considered to be one syllable, right? Based on the vowel feature, we divide syllable. Without vowel, it won't be considered as a syllable, right? And so we ask them to prepare by looking at the rules of the stress and syllable division also. Then they will go through the list of words and they try to practice, and then they will come to know how to place and how to divide first words. Then they will also come to know how to keep stress mark on a particular syllable in a word. And outcomes of the study, students will be able to do syllable division correctly based on vowel feature, and students will be able to understand correct stress patterns in di and polysyllabic words by observing the rules of the stress. And students will pronounce the words correctly after observing the teacher. Students will be found to be confident while speaking. Students will come to know that word stress is a fundamental feature of English, and it is essential to understand speech patterns. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.